This is Matt Rosen, and this is the Grit Mindset with me, your host, Matt Rosen. The mission of the Grit Mindset is to inspire and empower our listeners by delving deep into the journeys of those who have faced significant challenges and emerged stronger. Through authentic conversations, we uncover the mindsets, strategies, and lessons that have propelled these individuals to overcome adversity and achieve success. My aim is to provide actionable insights and real-world advice to help our listeners cultivate their own grit and navigate their personal and professional lives with confidence and resilience. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the Grit Mindset. I am Matt Rosen, your host. I am glad to have a good neighborhood buddy and business partner of mine here with us on the Grit Mindset today. I'd like to welcome Chris Moffett. He's a partner with Cloud Communications Group onto the show.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate the invite. Good to be here.
Glad to have you on. Well, thanks for driving over. So to get us started, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself and what Cloud Communications Group does?
Yeah, absolutely. So starting with myself, I'm operations engineering background in the tech space for lots and lots of years. Many carriers, AT&Ts, those kind of people of the world. I have a business partner. We started Cloud Communications Group just to help our clients make better decisions in that kind of tech space. So, we knew the industry, we'd been inside it and figured we could do it better and went out on our own and tried it.
Yeah, that's how it always seems to start. So tell us, who are your clients and what are you doing for them generally?
Yeah, so we work with companies roughly $500 million in revenue and up. We kind of help them do strategic sourcing and design architecture for IT space, anything from like connectivity. So again, things you think of AT&T doing, up through kind of cloud computing infrastructure. So we don't really get into applications, like we're not a Salesforce or a Microsoft partner, but everything kind of below that in the tech stack.
So helping them set up their network, getting their connectivity, all that sort of thing, and making sure they're doing it in a cost-effective way.
Exactly. Cost-effective with security in mind as well.
Cool. We'll come back to the company here in a little bit. So when did you start the firm?
The firm was started in 2009.
Yeah.
And we've been going strong. So almost 16 years. We're coming up on 16 years.
Congratulations.
So, yeah, thanks.
That's awesome. So you said your background was an engineer. What got you into that space? Maybe tell us a little bit about your origin story and what got you down that path.
Yeah, it was a complete accident. So I, out of school, wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I got a job at a hotel in Houston. So I grew up in the Houston area. I was literally carrying luggage, bellman, bright orange uniform, the whole thing. I got to know the general manager of the hotel, and he said, "Hey, we're going to do a bunch of upgrades to this telephone system and all this, and I don't have anybody that can do this. You want to change jobs and come oversee that?" I was like, "Sure."
He's like, "You're a strong guy, good at carrying bags. Now you're going to set up the telephony network."
Exactly. So yeah, I got into that and just started playing around and would change settings in the phone system and wait and see who told me something new was happening. I was like, okay, that's what that does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of fell into it and liked it.
Yeah. What was the name of the hotel you were at?
It was the Adams Mark Hotel in Houston. So I don't think that chain around anymore. But
no, I don't think so either. Was that downtown or?
It was out on the west side of town.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know there was one here in Dallas downtown. That's
I kind of remember it. But I think that brand's long gone.
It is. Yeah.
So is that their first telephone system you put in or?
It was an upgrade.
Okay.
So yeah, we had a really old one. And this is how far back it was. It was the first phone system in that hotel that had voicemail. So It went from the operators taking handwritten messages.
Delivering them to you, slide them under your door.
That's right. So I'm showing my age there a little bit.
That's pretty cool. So that was your start. Was there anything you did, leading up to that? You said that was after you went to school or just during school?
Yeah, and I had, I'd always been kind of interested in computers and played with them. And, technology was always intriguing to me. But no formal training in that. I've got essentially a sociology undergrad. So nothing special.
Yeah. So you had the job at the hotel. You learned about telephony. Did you just decide, hey, I want to run my own company? Like, what was the path that took you to where you are today?
Yeah. So we always, and I say we, my business partner and I, we'd always worked at companies that were kind of startup mentality, very entrepreneurial. The companies would grow and then things just kind of got bogged down. There was a lot of sludge in the processes. And so our approach was always, or our thought process was always, we can do this better. We can, we see the pain that a lot of the customers had, and there was just a better way to do it. So we actually went back to grad school later on. We graduated in 2009. And as part of the end of our grad program, we had an entrepreneurial class.
Okay.
And so we wrote the business plan that's now our company. So when we finished grad school at the end of that year in 2009, we're like, yeah, let's go do that.
Yeah.
So I've been doing it since. Yeah. All just trying to make things a little bit easier for our clients. That was the mentality.
What were some of the lessons you took away from some of those maybe slower moving or laborious places, the sludge like folks that you worked for?
Yeah. Not making decisions is in a lot of cases worse than making the wrong decision. If you make a wrong decision, at least you know it was wrong and you can change.
Yeah.
But if you do nothing, you just kind of fester.
Yeah.
And so that drives me nuts to this day.
Yeah, same. That's why I think I started my own thing. I got tired of waiting around. You're never going to have all the information. You just need to get the information you have and make the best decision you can with it. And if you're wrong, then not be afraid to say so and change.
Yep, absolutely.
So 2009, you hang a shingle out. Mm-hmm. Tell us about what was that like, building a network of clients and people to help deliver the services?
Yeah, it's hard to explain the first couple of times when you're sitting at the new office and you're just kind of looking around at the white walls. The phone is not ringing. There's no activity in the office. Like, okay, we've got to go do something. So, it was a lot of hard work. Keith knocking on doors, us leveraging, network, friends, SMU. Hey, telling everybody, just essentially telling everybody what we did. And you tell the story over and over. You finally get good at telling the story, or at least you get better. And then you have some people that go, "Hey, I think I know somebody that you guys could help," and make connections. And slow enough, it builds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're sitting at the empty office now. Were you hitting the phones as well, or you're more the operations guys? Keith's more the seller. I know Keith pretty well also, but how did you kind of tag team and figure out who was going to do what?
Yeah, so there's not a lot of customers in the beginning, so there's nothing to operate. So it was all right. I'm going to go talk to people, try and get out of the comfort zone.
Yeah,
I'm not a salesperson by nature, so it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was definitely gets you out of your comfort zone for a bit.
Yeah. Any fun early stories of getting out, some early sales calls, maybe learning from some mistakes?
Yeah, actually. We had one, I wish I could remember the name of the company, but we had one person that we'd met. I don't think Keith was with me on this one. And I go in to talk and we're probably 30 minutes into talking about things. And he sits back and he says, I thought you were with AT&T. Is that not? He had no idea what we did. And so I had to go revisit my own sales pitch because, if I'm 30 minutes in and they don't know what I do or who I work for, I need to revisit my approach.
Did he buy anything from you? Or?
Never did. No, never did. No, he's like, yeah, thanks. This is not what I thought we were doing. So that was a shot to the ego.
Well, it sounds like you've come a long way in 16 years. What have been some of the challenges of growing this firm and 16 years is a long time. I mean, the vast majority of your businesses go out of business within 10 years and you're well past that and you guys are growing and I know a lot of your clients and you guys do great things. So tell us about some of the hard times, in building the company. You were getting out and doing sales calls. Tell us about what that growth looked like and some of the challenges you had to overcome.
Yeah, probably the biggest one that made my blood pressure go up quite a bit. So we had just kind of gotten over the hump where we had one large customer that really was driving a lot of our revenue. Had a great relationship with them, was working with them frequently. And I get a phone call from basically a frontline person there in the IT organization that said, hey, just wanted to let you know, the three people above me on the org chart, including the CIO, have all been let go. We're going to have a new team and I don't know what's going on. And so you're like, this is interesting. So we now have, the relationships that we've built over a decent amount of time are now all gone.
And how long have you worked with them?
At that point, it had probably been about 2.5 years, something like that.
And this is your largest client?
At the time, they were, yes. And they are still a client today, actually.
Oh,
so this is about 10 years after all of that. But that's one that makes you sit back and look. It's like, oh no, what does this mean for the company? What does this mean for all the plans and the investments that we're talking about making? And it ends up working out. Again, if you do well, and I'm thankful that they looked at us that way, that we were doing well. We got along well with the new team, and the team that left went other places and called us.
Yeah.
So it actually turned into a good thing. But there was a lot of panic right there. A lot of panic.
Yeah. What was going through your head when you got that phone call?
Yeah, it was, everything from, we've got to go get in front of the finance team is who IT reported to at the time. So we got to go meet the finance team, down to, am I going to have to go start looking for an IT job, somewhere else? Like, is this the end of the dream kind of thing? So it's, everything in the middle.
Yeah. Well, you got through it. Well, you're on the grit mindset. And as you know, I ask every guest, what does grit mean to you, both personally, professionally? Yeah,
I look at it as we're going to go solve this, even though I don't know how to do it. So it's the, kind of that situation I was just talking about. Okay, this is a problem. I don't know how we're going to fix it, but we'll go figure it out. And so we'll go forward, and we're going to stub our toe and make the wrong decision a few times. And okay, no problem, we'll fix it. And it's everything's not planned out. But I think that's kind of the entrepreneurial spirit, if you will. It's, I don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to go do it.
Yeah.
So
just put your head down and keep moving and make decisions. So you've been at this 16 years. You guys are starting to grow, add more members to the team that I've had the opportunity meeting. Tell us a little bit about, what you see as, the challenges in the space over the next couple of years. Obviously, AI is kind of coming into everything. Everyone's trying to figure it out. So
it is. AI is the understatement of the day. Maybe AI is a big thing. All of our clients are wanting to do something there. The space changes faster than any technology I've seen change. The pace of change is faster than anything I've seen. So, a big challenge for us is trying to frame how we think our clients can help move or can move forward with the help of some of the technology when it is changing so fast. So, we'll have, here's the way we're going to do this. And then, in the AI space, OpenAI releases a new model that's, changes 55 things that they did before.
Yeah.
So that's been a challenge, but I think it's going to be a good thing for all of us. I'm not one of the doomsday people that says it's going to put every person out of work. I think it's a new tool.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a wave of change. Well, the waves keep coming so quickly. I mean, you were around for the dawn of the internet and probably PC before that, and the cloud, and those adoption cycles were a little bit slower. This one's coming faster than anything I've ever seen before.
Absolutely. And it, it's scary at the same time because there's security concerns in a lot of these things. And, again, we're moving so fast, and a lot of companies are moving so fast, they don't have time to go back and give the security the right attention.
And are you helping people with that at all?
We're trying to. Yeah. I've read there's all kinds of studies out there, but I've read that, there's a large percentage of employees at a company, they call it shadow AI.
Yeah.
And so you have all these, company secrets or things that the companies would not want public. These models have now ingested, and even the creators of those models, the OpenAIs, the Googles, at some point can't tell you exactly how they're doing what they're doing. So there's no telling where some of those financials are.
I know, that's a little bit scary. You hear about people uploading all their personal documents to Claude and OpenAI and all the corporate secrets, and like, where did they go in the model?
Exactly. Sitting in credit card information here, write me a budget. It's okay. Claude's now going to go buy something from Amazon.
Yeah, on your behalf.
That's right.
That's awesome. So how big's your team at CCG?
There are 9 of us total. So we're not large, but we in the consulting space, the kind of where we play, we use that as an advantage because it's like, this is the team that you're going to deal with.
Yeah.
And, we try not to expand too fast so that we can't support what we're doing.
Yeah. And the folks that you brought on, we talk about grit as founders. How do you instill grit in the folks that are part of the team and help them see the vision of where you're headed?
Oh yeah. Great question. That's a great question. I would say it's mostly, or I would like to think, I'll put it that way, it's mostly kind of by example. Mm-hmm. I hope they see us. We're in the office pretty much every day. Mm-hmm. We do have some people that are in other cities, but there's video calls, and then so hopefully they see kind of how we approach it. Much to my wife's irritation, sometimes we'll be on calls, working on something at 8:30 at night on a Thursday, but I would say trying to lead by example.
Yeah. Yeah. And your wife's a small business owner as well, right?
She is. She does marketing promotion stuff. So
how does that work, having 2 entrepreneurs at home?
It works great, but only because she does work out of the house and I don't. So we have to have that separation. But she's been an entrepreneur longer than I have. She started her company, let me think about this, 1998, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she got me by 10 years, 10 or 11 years.
I didn't realize. I've known her a long time. Didn't realize she'd been an entrepreneur longer than you.
Yeah,
I'll
she
have her
has.
on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. And you've got family, 2 kids. They're one in college, one in high school, right?
Yeah, the other one's I've got 2 college ones now.
Man, they grow up so fast I can't even keep up.
I know, believe me. I've got a senior at Arkansas. She is actually majoring in data science. So, I don't know if she's trying to kind of get in our industry, but I'm happy with that one. Then I've got a freshman at Texas Tech. And so he's just kind of finding his way out there.
Maybe have someone in the family business.
Exactly. And coincidentally, it is my youngest son's birthday today. As we're recording this.
Oh, yes. Very cool.
He is 19.
Wow.
Yes.
Time flies.
It does. That doesn't seem possible.
One of the things I struggle with as an entrepreneur is kids growing up with more than we had. Like, how do you instill grit within them? Have you thought about that, or any thoughts there?
We have. It's that mentality of them having to earn what they have. Like, you're not getting anything. Anything from the jokes that my wife and I make that we're going to spend everything. Like, don't plan on inheriting anything. Stuff like that. But the kids will want. I'll give you an example right now. My son is taking a trip to Arizona to see some of his friends. So he's going to fly. It's a long trip out to Tucson or Tempe, wherever they are. He's like, hey, can I get money for this? It's like, no, but we'll come up with ways you can earn it. And so my wife came up with some things that he had to do. And it was, a lot of it's manual labor. He had to do some stuff around the house. He had to deal with the yard, but trying to teach him, you've got to earn it. And if you don't,
no free lunch, no free ticket.
That's right.
That's a long walk or long hitchhike to
That's right.
Tempe.
Absolutely. Yeah. And nobody cares. I don't say nobody cares, but in the real world, outside of school, you got to earn it. People want you to deliver, and that's what they're looking for.
Yeah. So along the way, did you have any important mentors that kind of helped you figure out this path or helped you on the start of your entrepreneurial journey? Yeah.
So maybe before the entrepreneurial thing was really kicking in, but I had somebody that that helped me. It was a guy who was a president of the company at the time, long retired now, but this guy was Dan Yost, and he had a saying that I remember to this day. He was like, "Don't tell me what you know, show me what you can prove." Mm-hmm. And so it prior to hearing that out of him, and this was the early 2000s. It really instilled in us, or in me at least, when we go and talk to somebody, we're going to back up what we're saying. We're going to be able to prove it. We're going to show you rather than tell you, hey, I know we can solve your problems. It's like, here's how I know we can solve your problems. So I think that's a great message, at least for me. Yeah, no, I think it is as well. And I've seen you guys live by it as you deliver for clients. So I think that's great. It sounds like you guys are doing really well at CCG, and curious, are there any professional challenges, or not professional but personal challenges that you've been looking to overcome, or personal stories of grit that you can share? Yeah. So personally, I really would like to be a better golfer. Wouldn't we all? Yes. It's one of those frustrating games. It looks, at least to me, this should not be hard. Hit the little ball, just hit it straight. Yeah. I don't even really care how far it goes anymore. I just want it to go straight. And, it'll go straight, I don't know, 2 out of 5 times. Yeah. Those other 3. I think you have to have a lot of grit to be a professional golfer. I don't know how those guys do it. And obviously we were on a golf trip in Lajitas, and I appreciate you taking one of my guys. I think you're taking a number of your customers out there. And we are. Yeah, you guys are a good fit. Like I mentioned before, we're kind of in that infrastructure space. We don't really play in the application layer. But we've got a lot of clients that are looking for things like that. Data today, major thing. AI needs data. Data's all over the place for a lot of companies. Yes. And so, I'll give a thanks to you guys. We're working with you all to help solve some of those problems for some of our clients. So that's a really good thing. No, and appreciate that. It really is amazing. People have been talking about data as the differentiator, big data, data warehouses before that. And literally we've been on these IT modernization journeys for 30 plus years, and people still have their customer in 30 different places and duplicates and all sorts of things. That's the most important thing a company has. It's out of control. Absolutely. I have a friend that works at a large company that I won't name, just to not embarrass her. But, yes. But that very point, they have customer transactions. They basically are kind of a packaged goods company. They have customer transactions in 7 different databases. And so if you want a picture of what has one person bought from the company, IT almost can't do it. They
Yeah.
have to manually put stuff together. And so it's really interesting how things got there.
It's truly amazing that companies get to the size they do and then just don't have the institutional grit to clean things up so that they can take advantage of everything that's here to come, from the dashboarding technology and now this wave of AI that's coming. And yeah, we're seeing huge demand. I don't usually do a whole lot of commercials for Aleda on the grit mindset, but I will in this case. Yeah, that's a big area we're helping people, is getting their data cleaned up, using AI to do it, and then putting these AI engines on top of it to help them really drive insights that they weren't able to ever before.
Absolutely. Yeah, if they don't have that, you can't simply just take Word documents and feed it into these things and hope for the best.
No. And then if you start incorporating the engines, they're reading who's ever uploaded their credit card data plus Reddit feeds plus all the stuff on the internet. You never know what you're going to get. So tell people is you got to feed it with your own data if you really want to have good answers for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to keep it going. So beyond just repairing it. So something that I know your team is doing real well with is putting in the processes and the discipline with these clients to keep it, clean going forward so they don't repeat the same problem.
Yeah.
There's nothing like repeating a problem you've already solved.
Yeah, and a lot of our clients do it. But, it takes a lot of grit to be an IT leader. I much prefer sitting on this side of the desk than being in their shoes. But I know, we have a lot of good friends in that space that we serve. And it's gritty because I think the only time they ever get a phone call is when the network's down or the CEO's email doesn't work.
That's right. Nobody calls IT to say, man, that email went through perfectly.
Or that was awesome. That new website we launched, all the orders came in. It was brilliant. It's only everything's broken and fix it or you're fired.
That's right.
Yeah. In fact, we've had a few CIOs on the grit mindset and look forward to having a few more because that is a thankless job.
Absolutely. And the tenure is pretty short, if I'm not mistaken, like 2.5, 3 years, something like that. Yeah. That's a tough.
They provide a great service to the companies, and I'm glad to call them friends and clients, but I've always told them I would not swap seats with them.
Absolutely. We have a gentleman we work with, John Baird, who is we refer to as a reformed CIO. So he was a CIO for a handful of companies several times, and I think he would tell you the same thing. He enjoys our side of the house or our side of the desk a lot better than the other.
Yeah, funny enough, I think about half of our leadership team were former clients of mine, and some people jokingly call consulting the dark side. Trish Webb, who will be on the show in a few weeks, calls it the light side, and I think they all much prefer the side of the desk.
Absolutely,
it's not for everyone.
Absolutely.
But as we're kind of wrapping up this week's episode of the Grit Mindset, there's a great conversation. Appreciate you sharing your insights in the growth story. Are there any other items you wanted to talk about or cover before we kind of wrap it up here?
Other than, again, in case I forget, thanks for having it on. This is really good. I enjoy these. I watch them regularly. I think the pace of change, especially with AI, is just, I think it's got a lot of people very worried, whether they're in the IT space or not. I'm the only kind of tech person in my family or extended family, and I get a lot of text messages about, is this new AI thing going to be what ends, humanity? Is it, all kinds of things. I think at some point people looked at the mobile phone, like the original cell phones back in the mid 80s, I think it was, and thought that was going to be the end of society. Yeah. And then it was the internet. And so I think it's another tool. I think it's going to cause, people to adapt and be forced to adapt. But the only thing I would think is just, relax. The grid will get us through figuring this one out too.
No, I like that. I mean, when there was the Industrial Revolution, the Agricultural Revolution, the train, the internet, everyone always thinks with the internet, like every retail center is going to be gone, and literally there's more retail centers now than there were then. Maybe there's not these huge malls, but the retail centers are alive and well. And so with every technological wave, I think it's just, humans don't like change. Nobody does. And so things change, you have to adapt, learn new things. There's not really a guidebook for this one. I think that's the other thing that makes it scary, is that nobody really knows where this thing's going to end. And so your mind goes like, what's the worst possible thing or best possible thing? I don't think we're going to utopia where nobody works. I also don't think everyone's going to be out of work. I think it's going to be something where some people are going to have to upskill, learn new skills. Some fields are going to be, destroyed while great new ones are created. And it takes grit to stay on top of that and to learn and to persist. And I'm an optimist. I think we're going to be fine. I don't see AI taking over the world and shutting everything down anytime soon. But at the same time, we got to come up to speed, learn how to use it, and embrace it. Otherwise, there's not one of those you can just stick your head in the sand and hope it goes away.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah. Well, any other closing thoughts for listeners, or lessons of grit, things you'd like to share as we kind of sign off? Or another way I like to think about anything you'd have told a younger Chris when he was sitting there carrying bags in the hotel?
Yes. It would be that thing of don't wait too long to make decisions.
Yeah.
I've made a lot of bad decisions in my career and in my life. I don't think I've ever made a bad decision too quickly.
Yeah.
So make a decision, get it done. If it's great, perfect. If not, redo it and go from there. Don't wait.
Yeah, I like that. Don't be afraid to make a tough decision.
That's right.
Yeah, indecision. They say the worst speed you can go on a highway is 0.
That's right.
I think the same thing can be said about life. You can't come to a complete stop, not do things, and keep moving forward and adjust as necessary. So, Chris, it's great to have you as a friend and a partner to our business. It's great having you on the show. Thank you for sharing your insights. Also enjoyed our talk about AI. It's one of my favorite things. Don't get to talk about it all the time, but don't have technologists on the show every week. Everyone out there listening, hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Grit Mindset. Please tune weekly, and until next week's episode, stay gritty out there.